Baseball isn't just about the score, it's about the story behind every pitch, every swing, and every betting angle. Welcome to Beyond the Box Score, where we break down today's MLB matchups with raw intensity, deep stats, and the edge you need to win your bets. From strikeout props to home run bombs, we've got every angle covered. The stage is set in Atlanta, Mariners at Braves, Game 1, and the matchup flashes intrigue. Luis Castillo takes the mound for Seattle with a 8-8 record, a 3.94 ERA, and 138 strikeouts over 155 innings. He's durable and high velocity, blending sinkers and changeups to neutralize hard contact. Across the diamond, Spencer Strider, 5'12", 4.97 ERA, 106 Ks in 101 IP, the Braves strikeout maestro, leads a shaky rotation but brings electric upside when everything's clicking. Coffee-stained desks and simulators suggest this tilts skirmish. ESPN's models assign Braves a 50.6% win probability. Betting lines show the over-under at 8.5, ML at Braves -125, Mariners +110, and the run line pushing ATL -1.5 around +165. The Mariners, sliding through a 4-game skid, need reset. Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez remain their core power threats. Raleigh 51 HR, 109 RBI, Rodriguez hot on the road. Meanwhile, the Braves offense, led by Matt Olson's consistent bopper game .268 AVG, 21 HR, is staring to operate with postseason urgency, even with a sub-.500 record. Bullpens. Seattle's is a sieve. ATL's closer-led staff is stacked with late-inning talent. If Strider falters early, Seattle can still collapse into high-leverage disaster. Prop shots worth locking. Strider over 5.5 kiloseconds, 50% strikeout pitch potential if his heater lands. Raleigh over RBI, total bases, idle Olson over TB, built for impact in tight games. Under total runs 8.5, if both starters settle, this turns into a chess match, not a slugfest. For high reward, Braves RL -1.5 plus Strider over Ks or under 8.5 plus Castillo Ks over 5.5, if you believe Seattle can make it a defensive track meet. Imagine the game. Strider unleashes first inning lights out work, 5 fastballs at 98 miles per hour, 2 Ks to set the tone. Mariners respond. Raleigh singles, Rodriguez chases a slider too hard. Mid-game, Castillo battles to 5 clean, Braves battle back with a late crack from Olson. Last innings, bullpens tense, Atlanta maintains edge. 2 scorching brands collide at Tropicana Field tonight. The Tampa Bay Rays, riding a 6-game win streak and suddenly alive in the wild card chase, square off with the Cleveland Guardians, who sit dead even at .500 and are still clawing for relevance in September's madness. The mound matchup sets the tone. Shane Baz Rays, 9-11, 4.98 ERA, 156 kiloseconds in 150.2 IP, brings heat and inconsistency. The wall crumble, but he can also sting. Opposite, Tanner Bybee Guardians, 9-11, 4.77 ERA, 136 kiloseconds in 154.2 IP, delivers a ground ball machine approach, relying on heavy sinkers and command to navigate traffic. The betting odds tilt slightly in Cleveland's favor, with Guardians ML priced around +118 and an over-under carved at 8 runs. Tampa's offense, fueled by impacts like Junior Caminero, 41 HR, 103 RBI, and sharp contact from Yandy Diaz .293 AVG, projects as an attack-first engine. They hit .262 against right-handers this season, rock solid. The pitching side edge, Cleveland's bullpen is manageable, but Tampa's relievers, like Kevin Kelly and Jason Adam, have earned a reputation for churning zeros in high-leverage frames. Swing for the ropes prop moves. Caminero over RBI or TB is sharp. He's a volume bat who traffics apples frequently. Shane Baz over 5.5 kiloseconds is plausible, his jump fastball still misses bats when he's on. Bybee under 5.5 kiloseconds signals control over chaos. If he commands, he neutralizes Rays airbenders. Game narratives boil hot. First inning, Baz pounds 95-mile-per-hour edges, gets 2 chases. Bibee counters with sinker sink, weak grounder, sawed-off liner. Third inning, Caminero stays locked, an RBI double into the gap puts Rays ahead. Guardians bite back in the fourth, Ramirez flashes double, Bibee strands lively. Late innings hinge on Tampa's pen depth versus key bullpen flickers on the Tribe side. Pars and SGP ideas. Rays ML plus over 8 ride the offense in home cooking. Caminero over TBs plus Baz over Ks, 2 power scripts, high variance. Under 8 plus Guardians team total over 4 tight game with clutch run payoff. Both teams have serious fall aspirations, but Tampa's current momentum, power, and matchup architecture lean sharp. Expect their offense to pressure early, their bullpen to hold, and Clee's resistance to be rooted in high-effort halves rather than game-long dominance. The Bronx stage is set for Game 3 of this AL East grudge match, a showdown with playoff-tier implications. The Yankees dispatch Max Fried, 15.5, 2.98 ERA, 159 Ks, a lefty with ace-grade consistency. Fried's sinker and sweeping slider have terrorized both sides of the plate, and his early control over the zone gives him a major edge. Opposite, Max Scherzer, 5-2, 4.11 ERA, 62 Ks toes the rubber for Toronto, still capable of elite finishes despite the long stretch of a heavy workload. Both matched sets create a narrative of experience versus experience, with reliability on each side. Bookmakers lean slightly to New York, Yankees ML around -156, Blue Jays at +130, with the total hovering at 8.5 on both sides. The implied win probability points to a competitive tilt. This is a closely matched title decider of a series. Offensively, it's a collision of power and timing. Aaron Judge remains the Bronx behemoth, 43 homers, 97 RBIs, and an OPS north of 1.100, especially lethal when Fried's above the zone. Pete Alonso carries the Blue Jays' firepower. Meanwhile, Griffin is a surge mid-order that sets the table. Both offenses hover in elite run production neighborhoods for the AL. Bullpens could tilt the night. NY's half looks experienced and shapely, even post-8th inning maintenance feels firm. Toronto rebounded last game but still feels vulnerable in pressure. A mid-game lead could flip the narrative. Game scripts. Fried pounds strike 1, Judge opens the frame with firepower. Scherzer grinds early, pinching runs in the third. Yus pushes a tie in the fifth. Fried slams down final strikes late, Yankees hold serve. Prop lean hits. Fried over 6.5 kiloseconds, elite whiff potential when locked in. Scherzer under 5.5 kiloseconds, aging curve, high stakes environment might cap him. Judge over 1.5 total bases, one swing can flip the board, and it's that kind of stage. Alonso HR prop, medium stake, high leverage, high variance play. Parlay ideas. Yankees ML plus Judge TBs over 1.5 plus Fried K over 6.5. Under 8.5 total plus Fried over Ks for low scoring, with heavy structure. The surging Milwaukee Brewers against the resilient Pittsburgh Pirates. On the mound, Milwaukee unleashes their ace voice. Brandon Woodruff, 5-2 with a stingy 3.32 ERA and crisp 74 strikeouts, skating just under the radar in the playoff chase. Woodruff's got that pure drop and drive action, and with the Brewers owning one of baseball's strongest bullpens, his presence kicks off leverage early. Opposing him is the up-and-down but high-upside Mitch Keller, 6-13 with a 4.16 ERA and 136 kiloseconds. Keller can flirt with dominance, but his command dips when really challenged, an angle Milwaukee's hitters can exploit. Lines across the board tilt to the crew. BetMGM has Milwaukee -140 megaliters, Pirates +115, with an OU at 8 runs and run line at Brewers -1.5 +125. Models peg Milwaukee with near 59% win probability thanks to rotation supremacy and offensive depth. Milwaukee brings firepower, deep offense across their lineup, even with Christian Yelich listed as day-to-day. They're pulling second best in MLB for runs scored, 717, with threats in every spot from Yelich to Chourio and Turang. Pittsburgh counters with heartbeat moments from O'Neill Cruz and Brian Reynolds, but their overall metrics, especially batting with runners in scoring position, lag significantly behind. Prop players in play. Woodruff over 5.5 kiloseconds, attack script is there, Pirates chase in slope. Keller under 5.5 kiloseconds, if you're fading volatility and trusting Milwaukee's defense. Bryce Terang TB over or Chourio hits over both juicy on the road against Pittsburgh's bullpen inconsistency. Pirates team total under 3.5, lean if Woodruff goes deep in clamping. Parlay plays worth stacking. Brewers ML plus Woodruff over Ks, tight, value combo. ML plus Terang TB over, adds a hit of offense to the winning script. Under 8 plus Keller under Ks, for a low scoring, pitch dominant layout. Picture it. First inning, Woodruff buzzes through, whiffs 2, loads the zone. Cruz cables a double but is slapped out at third, bullpen whispers turned into relief readiness. Mid-game, Brewers get 2 runs via contact and heat, Pirates scratch 1 through defense traffic. Woodruff cruises into the 6th, Pirates' pen is left holding dust. Late innings, Milwaukee closes it with reliever dominance and minimal drama. Bottom line, this matchup leans steeply towards Milwaukee. Their rotation, bullpen, and lineup synergy outweigh Pittsburgh's fleeting energy and home grit. Ride the Brewers ML with Woodruff Ks, clean, sharp, and structurally backed. Clayton Kershaw approaches Camden Yards aiming to conquer the one lineup he's never faced. The 9-2 veteran brings a 3.28 ERA and a veteran's poise, ready to shut down a red-hot Orioles offense. On the bump for Baltimore is Tomoyuki Sagano, a 10-7 righty with a 4.41 ERA, hoping to quiet Dodgers bats with his finesse and experience. The odds tilt to LA at -160 megaliters, with Baltimore the underdog at +135, and the total settling in that balanced space at 9 runs. The Dodgers are limping in, crushed by a Pirates sweep while their offense scalps just 17 runs in the past 7 innings. But their elite lineup, led by Shohei Ohtani, 46 HR, .610 SLG, and Freddie Freeman, .369 OBP, is still a launchpad for momentum. Meanwhile, Baltimore rides a surge, winning 4 straight with rookie Samuel Basallo delivering walk-off heroics and the team riding that underdog fire. Prop plays to light up. Kershaw over 5.5 kiloseconds, veteran length and efficiency could tax Baltimore's busy bats. Ohtani over 1.5 total bases, power and extra base potential on full display. Rogers under 5.5 kiloseconds, Sagano may struggle with control, making this a faded favorite. Over 9 runs, both bullpens tired and bats streaking. A game of mismatched momentum. Overs and ML merges. Dodgers ML plus Ohtani TBs, explosive bat meets pitching steadiness. Over 9 plus Kershaw K over, high stakes, high strikeouts. Baltimore Alt plus 1.5 plus over 9 safe hedge for fans leaning against the Dodgers' recent struggles. Game scene. Kershaw slices through first frame, 2 strikeouts, 0 suspense. Sagano responds with crafty changeups and finishes clean. Mid-game, Ohtani unloads a 425-foot bomb while Gunnar Henderson answers with a rip to right. Late frames depend on pen execution and whether Law's bats reheat before the Ohio sun sets. This is high-stakes, high-reward baseball, where history meets urgency, and one swing can rocket your bankroll into wild territory. The Miami Marlins host the Philadelphia Phillies for Game 3, and this one starts with a mound shift. Taijuan Walker PHI, 4-7, 3.92 ERA takes the hill for Philadelphia, replacing Luzardo, matched up against the Marlins starter currently TBD, marking a pivot in the pitching narrative. Walker's mix of sinker and slider has kept him competitive despite the numbers, and his experience gives Philly an edge in neutralizing Miami's sporadic contact-heavy lineup. The Phillies come in as solid favorites, with the ML around -150, Marlins at +125, and the total hovering near 8 runs. Philly runs one of the top offenses in the league, .258 BA, .425 SLG, elite HR and RBI production from Schwarber, Harper, Turner, and Stott, as their gains align with high-leverage execution. Marlins, sitting 65 to 76, are limping on home turf with slashing around .250, .313, .392, powered by Ramirez's 19 homers and Edwards' contact, though overall production remains sparse. Momentum matters. Phillies took 2 straight from Miami in Game 1 and Game 2, the analytics stack Philly with nearly 60% win probability per Dimer's models. Miami's only hope is Alcantara's electric form, but his 5.66 season era still invites caution even if his recent starts show clutch innings. Prop angles to watch: Walker over 5.5 kiloseconds, phasing Marlins contact-heavy ladder. Alcantara over outs, if his heel grip is working. Phillies team total over 4.5 runs, deep lineup, neutral start, sizable value. Schwarber HR prop, low stake, power wheels against soft contact frame. Marlins team total under 3.5, if Bollocks settle early with Walker held command. Parlay possibilities: Phillies ML plus Walker over Ks. Schwarber hour plus Phillies TT over 4.5. Walker's Ks plus team TT plus under 8 total. Tight contest, controlled by contacts and bullpen grind. Narrative snapshot: Walker starts icy, 3 Ks in frame 1. Miami scratches offense via hustle, Edwards or Ramirez pushes traffic. Phillies break through in third, Harper torches double, Schwarber or Stott drives in multi-run insurance. Marlins counter with small ball, but Walker exits with 6 clean, whip intact. Philly pen rolls through, combined with a Guardians-Dodgers momentum effect, this game tilts decisively in favor of the Red Darers. The Detroit Tigers and Chicago White Sox square off in an AL Central clash that may not impact playoff races, but it's loaded with betting value, pitching intrigue, and sharp prop opportunities. The Tigers are expected to send Reese Olson, 6-10, 3.59 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, to the hill, a steady right-hander who has been one of Detroit's best at controlling traffic. Olson has held opponents to a .227 batting average and generates a 48% ground ball rate, perfect for neutralizing a White Sox lineup that ranks bottom 5 in hard hit rate. Across his last 5 starts, Olson has logged 30 innings with just 7 earned runs allowed, showing elite command and keeping his whip under 1.05 in that span. On the flip side, Chicago counters with Garrett Crochet, 8-11, 3.72 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, their strikeout machine who has fanned 178 hitters in 150 innings. Crochet's fastball-slider combo has elite swing and miss metrics, with a 32% K rate, but his struggles come when he falls behind in counts. He's issued 48 walks and seen his ERA balloon in high-leverage innings. Against a Tigers lineup that ranks top 10 in walk rate over the past 2 weeks, Crochet will need his best command to survive deep into the game. The bullpen edge sits clearly with Detroit. Jason Foley and Alex Lang have combined for a sub 3.30 ERA in late innings, with the group overall ranking top 10 in strand rate. The White Sox, meanwhile, own one of the worst bullpen eras in the American League, over 5.00, and their late-inning collapse rate has crushed backers all season. If this game is close after 6, the Tigers hold the advantage. At the plate, the Tigers rely heavily on Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green. Torkelson has been smashing lefties with a .500 plus slugging rate in those matchups, making him a prime home run prop candidate against Crochet. Green, meanwhile, sets the table with a .360 OBP in his last 20 games. For the White Sox, Luis Robert Jr. is their lone elite bat, 26 home runs, .480 SLG, and a hard hit rate near 50%. If Olson can keep Robert in check, Chicago's offense looks extremely thin. From a betting market perspective, oddsmakers opened Detroit around -125 favorites with the White Sox in the +105 to +110 range. The total sits at 8 runs, signaling books expect a pitcher's duel early with potential for late runs if bullpens come into play. Power ratings give Detroit a 56% win probability, reflecting both the stronger pen and more consistent lineup. Best props and angles. Olson over 5.5 strikeouts looks strong given Chicago's 25% team K rate. Crochet's strikeout prop has value too, but his pitch count is a real concern if the Tigers grind at bats. Spencer Torkelson over 1.5 total bases or HR props are in play, while Luis Robert Jr. to homer is the only real White Sox slugging angle worth trusting. A sharp angle is Detroit team total over 4.5 runs, banking on Crochet's command issues in a poor Sox bullpen. Same game parlay ideas: Tigers ML plus Olsen over strikeouts plus Torkelson to record a hit. For a higher payout, mix Detroit ML, full game under 8, and Robert Jr. to homer, a mix of power with pitching dominance. This is a divisional grinder, but everything tilts toward Detroit: stronger pen, steadier starter, and bats that can expose Chicago's flaws. The White Sox have Robert Jr., but the Tigers have the depth and discipline to turn this matchup their way. The Cincinnati Reds head into Citi Field to battle the New York Mets in a game that carries sneaky importance for the Reds' wild card chase and plenty of betting intrigue. Cincinnati turns to Hunter Greene, 7-8, 4.19 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, their electric but volatile right-hander. Greene can dominate lineups when his fastball command is sharp. He's averaging 11.3 strikeouts per 9 innings, but inconsistency has been his kryptonite. In his last 5 starts, Greene has fanned 36 in 28 innings but also surrendered 6 home runs, a red flag against a Mets lineup built on patience and power. His 10% walk rate often runs his pitch count high, meaning the Reds' bullpen, 4.20 ERA, middle of the pack, could be tested early. The Mets counter with Jose Quintana, 5-9, 4.61 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, a soft-tossing lefty who thrives on weak contact when he's at his best but has looked hittable this season. He's posted just a 17% strikeout rate and has allowed a .276 opponent batting average. Over his last 4 starts, Quintana has been tagged for 14 earned runs across 21 innings, and right-handed power bats have been his biggest weakness. Cincinnati's lineup is loaded with them. Cincinnati's offense has been streaky, but they've been more dangerous on the road, averaging 4.7 runs per game away from Great American Ballpark. Elly De La Cruz remains the X-factor: blazing speed, raw power, and now improved plate discipline, 10% walk rate in his last 15 games. Pair him with Spencer Steer and Christian Encarnacion Strand, and the Reds have multiple bats capable of punishing Quintana. On the Mets side, Pete Alonso remains their anchor with 37 home runs, and Francisco Lindor has been red hot, slashing .315 with power over his last 20 games. This duo accounts for the bulk of New York's run production, which makes them key props to watch. From the bullpen standpoint, the Mets hold the edge. Closer Edwin Diaz has finally stabilized after a rocky stretch, and the Mets' relief corps sits in the top 10 in strikeout rate. Cincinnati's bullpen has struggled against lefties, which could give Lindor some late-game opportunities. Oddsmakers opened this one close to a pick'em, with slight Mets favoritism at home -120 range, and a total of 8.5 runs. The market shows respect for Greene's strikeout upside but bakes in volatility given his home run issues. The sharp angle lies in fading Quintana against this power-heavy Reds lineup. Prop angles: Greene over 7.5 strikeouts is a plus money play worth targeting. The Mets strike out at a 24% clip versus right-handers. De La Cruz over 1.5 total bases or stolen base props have strong value. Pete Alonso anytime HR prop is always live, especially against Greene's fly ball tendencies. Mets team total over 4.5 is viable if Greene exits early. SGP ideas: Reds ML plus Greene 8 plus strikeouts plus De La Cruz to score a run. Or for the Mets angle, Mets ML plus Alonso hour plus Lindor over 1.5 total bases. This matchup boils down to Greene's dominance versus his volatility. If he misses bats, the Reds can ride him to a road win. If his command slips, Alonso and Lindor will make him pay, and the Mets' bullpen advantage will close it down. The Kansas City Royals and Minnesota Twins clash in an AL Central showdown that mixes young talent, playoff urgency, and betting value. The Royals send Cole Ragans, 9-8, 3.38 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, to the mound, their emerging ace who has turned into one of the most dominant left-handers in the American League. Ragans has racked up 191 strikeouts in 165 innings, holding hitters to a .220 average with a 29% K rate. His fastball changeup slider mix has been filthy since the All-Star break. He's allowed just 9 earned runs in his last 40 innings. Against a Twins lineup that leads the AL in strikeouts, over 1,400 on the year, Ragans has a prime opportunity to rack up punchouts. Minnesota answers with Bailey Ober, 11.6, 3.77 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, a reliable righty with elite control, just 34 walks in 155 innings. Ober's tall frame and extension make his 93 mph fastball play up, and he's quietly posted a 24% strikeout rate while limiting opponents to a .233 batting average. At home, he's been especially sharp, with a 3.10 ERA in 12 starts at Target Field. The Royals don't strike out a ton, but Ober's ability to change eye levels and work deep into games makes him a tough puzzle. Kansas City's offense is powered by the breakout superstar Bobby Witt Jr., who's slashing .300 with 27 homers, 40 stolen bases, and an OPS pushing .880. Witt against Ober is the matchup to watch. Witt has a .310 batting average versus right-handed pitching and thrives on fastballs. The supporting cast has stepped up too, with Salvador Perez continuing to supply power, 21-hour, and MJ Melendez hitting over .280 in his last 30 games. The Twins counter with star shortstop Carlos Correa, who's finally heating up, and slugger Royce Lewis, who's been a spark plug since returning from injury, posting an OPS over 1.000 in his last 20 games. Add in Max Kepler's recent power surge, and Minnesota's lineup remains dangerous. Bullpens could decide this one. Kansas City has leaned on James McArthur and Chris Stratton in high-leverage innings, but their pen still carries a 4.60 ERA, bottom 10 in the league. Minnesota's relief corps, anchored by Jhoan Duran, is more reliable, sitting top 12 in bullpen era and capable of missing bats late. The betting market opened with the Twins around -135 favorites and the Royals in the +115 range, with a total of 8 runs. That number reflects respect for both starting pitchers, but Ragans' strikeout upside makes the Royals the live underdog play. Prop angles. Ragans over 7.5 strikeouts is one of the best looks on the board, given Minnesota's swing and miss tendencies. Bobby Witt Jr. over 1.5 total bases or to steal a base is another sharp prop. For the Twins, Royce Lewis to homer and Ober over 5.5 strikeouts are logical targets. SGP ideas. Royals ML plus Ragans 8+ strikeouts plus Witt Jr. to record a hit. Or from the Minnesota angle, Twins ML plus Lewis to homer plus Ober over strikeouts. This matchup is a true duel of rising stars, Ragans' electric arm against Minnesota's hot bats, and Ober's efficiency against Witt Jr.'s explosiveness. The Twins may be the favorite at home, but Kansas City has the ace on the mound and the best player on the field in Witt Jr., making this one far closer than the odds suggest. The Giants roll in with Kai Wei Teng towing the rubber against Sonny Gray for St. Louis, and that matchup sets the entire tempo. Teng's 3-4 start sample this year has been bumpy, but his heater plus slider mix can punch outs when his command clicks. Gray brings veteran sequencing and a 4.40-ish season era but eats innings and keeps the pen fresh. Offensively, these clubs trade contact and situational power. The Giants lean on Willie Adames and the hot corner pop, while the Cardinals answer with Wilson Contreras and Alec Burleson doing the heavy lifting. Both lineups are streaky but dangerous with runners in scoring position. Team metrics favor the Giants slightly in recent form. They've ripped a multi-win run while St. Louis has been more up and down at home. Bullpen tilts are decisive. St. Louis has a deeper late-inning bridge and higher strand rate in the last 14 days. San Francisco's pen has been scrappier but has shown the ability to miss bats in short bursts. That dynamic means if Gray grinds 6, Cardinals control the late frame. If Teng can coax whiffs early, Giants can short-circuit the Cardinals' scoring plan. Props and market edges. Teng 4.5 -5.5 kiloseconds, small sprinkle upside if he stays aggressive. Gray over 5.5 kiloseconds is plausible on his better days. Contreras 1 plus RBI and Adames over 1.5 terabytes are solid single bets given matchup furnaces. Market models are hovering close, books list a sub-9 total often, so under 8.5 has merit if you trust starting pitching in recent bullpen form. Pick dogs and other handicappers have been leaning Giants in the series context while oddsmakers flip lines day to day, use live juice to size stakes. SGP parlay ideas. Conservative, Gray 6 plus outs plus Cardinals ML. Balanced, Contreras RBI plus under 8.5 plus Teng 4 plus Ks. Aggressive, Giants ML plus Adames 2 plus TB plus Teng 5 plus Ks. The narrative you want. Early strikeout punch from the starter who controls the zone, one crooked inning from the home team, then bullpen chess. Back the starter you trust and hedge with a correlated TB RBI prop to maximize share value. The Chicago Cubs hand the ball to Justin Steele, the lefty who's been the rotation's backbone, mid 3.00 era territory, strong K9 an elite command that forces opponents into weak contact when he spots his fastball and slider. Opposing him, Washington counters with Mackenzie Gore, the high spin, high ceiling lefty who mixes a mid-90s heater with a hammer curve. When Gore is on, he racks Ks, but his walk rate and pitch count volatility open clear edges for patient lineups. Bullpen dynamics skew bettors' thinking. Chicago's late-inning group has stabilized, trusted arms to bridge to the eighth and a closer who misses bats, which makes a Steele short outing less catastrophic. Washington's relief corps still ranks near the bottom in leverage era and inheritance to score rate. If Gore exits early, the Nationals' pen is the market's soft spot. That's a leverage hook. Fade Washington in late-game situations or target Cubs team totals when Gore's pitch count balloons. Offensively, the Cubs' run depth. Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki provide middle-order pop and OBP, Nico Horner scratches for contact and high-value small ball counts. The Nats lean on C.J. Abrams, speed and Lane Thomas's power, both are high-variance props, Abrams for SBs, Thomas for extra bases but not consistent multi-hit nights. Key props and edges. Steele over 5.5 kiloseconds, value if he stays aggressive, Gore over 6.5 kiloseconds, plus if he's on, Bellinger 1 plus RBI and Suzuki over 1.5 terabytes are top single plays. Fade Nats team total in late innings unless Gore goes deep. Totals markets will price this as a pitcher's duel, under 8 has merit if both starters settle. Smart parlays SGPs. Conservative, Cubs ML plus Steele over Ks plus Bellinger 1 plus RBI. Balanced, under 8 plus Suzuki TB over plus Gore under 6.5 kiloseconds, if you think Gore will be hittable. Aggressive, Cubs minus 1.5 plus Steele 7 plus Ks plus Abrams SB, big payout, correlated risk. Dallas heats up and the American League's biggest rivalry spits flames tonight, Rangers vs. Astros, a matchup built on pitching quality and middle-order pop. Texas hands the ball to Andrew Heaney, a lefty who's reinvented himself with improved command mid-threes era in recent months and a splitter that chases weak contact. Heaney's induced soft contact numbers spike when he's ahead in the count. When he's not, Houston's barrel hunters punish mistakes. The Astros counter with Framber Valdez, a sinker change maestro who grinds contact into soft outs and eats innings. Valdez gives Houston a baseline of control and a propensity to keep the scoreboard modest while the Astros' offense booms behind him. Bullpens favor Houston on paper, their late-inning arms generate whiffs and strand rate tends to be elite. Texas's pen has flashes but is more volatile. If Heaney exits early, the Rangers' relief depth will be tested. Offensively, the Rangers pack pop in Adolis Garcia and a patient lineup that draws walks and forces mistakes. The Astros answer with Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve, power and situational hitting that manufacture crooked innings. Prop angles. Valdez over 5.5 kiloseconds is live if you expect swings and misses from Houston's in-zone command. Heaney under 5.5 kiloseconds is safer if he's pitching to weak contact. Power plays. Yordan over 1.5 total bases and Adolis Garcia anytime HR, are natural given both pitchers' tendencies to miss in the heart of the zone occasionally. Team totals. Lean Astros TT over 4.5 if live pricing shows value. Texas TT is playable if Heaney's first 2 innings look shaky. Best bets in SGPs, baseline single, Astros ML, home, bullpen edge. Parlay idea, Astros ML plus Jordan 1 plus TB plus Valdez over Ks. Same game parlay, higher payout, Astros minus 1.5 plus Jordan hour plus Valdez 6 plus Ks, aggressive but correlated if Houston dictates tempo. Game flow, Valdez grinds. Through 5 sturdy frames, Astros scratch a run against Heaney in the third via a walk and a Jordan double. Middle innings are bullpen chess. By the 8th, Houston's arms lock while Texas chases strikes. Final. Astros capitalize on one big swing, Rangers chase, and the visitor hangs its hat on bullpen volatility. Coors Field is a pressure cooker and tonight it's Padres' firepower against Rockies' dysfunction. Dylan Cease toes the rubber for San Diego, season. High Ks, mid 4.80 era while Tanner Gordon draws the start for Colorado, a matchup that screams upside for strikeout props and runline movement. Cease attacks the zone with heavy velo and a biting slider. He misses bats at a top-tier clip but can spray barrels when he misses his spots. Gordon has shown flashes but his 6.00+ era and limited innings make him a live target for the Padres' middle order. The run environment here is obvious. Coors inflates everything. San Diego's lineup, Luis Arraez's contact, Manny Machado's barrel profile and the cleanup power around him, plays like a launch pad for fly balls that turn into runs at altitude. Colorado's biggest pop comes from Hunter Goodman and the few guys who can actually lift the ball. Their offense is streaky and can't be banked on for consistent crooked innings. Bookmakers opened San Diego as clear favorites and the market shows that confidence. Line movement historically tightens on Padres given rotation and bullpen gaps for the Rockies. Bullpens tilt toward San Diego. The Padres' relief depth has been the more reliable bridge into late frames while Colorado's pen has been repeatedly gashed, especially when their starter exits early in this hitter's paradise. That's the structural edge. Force Tanner Gordon into an early hook, get to the Rockies' pen, and the scoreboard inflates fast. Conversely, if Cease is knocked around early and the Rockies' offense strings doubles, Coors can flip any script. Player prop plays. Dylan Cease over 6.5K primary, Manny Machado over 1.5 total bases, Hunter Goodman anytime hour, value tilt at altitude, Tanner Gordon under 4.5 IP, expect short leash. Totals are tricky. Market consensus on this slate has been pushing higher, so over 10.5 are correlated team totals, Padres TT over 5.5, carry logic if the book prices them soft. Best bets and angles. Back Padres ML with size layered into Cease K over and a Manny Machado TB play. Contrarian edge. Small split stake on a Rockies live money play if Gordon lights up the first 2 innings, Coors swings momentum faster than any park. For SGPs, Padres ML plus Cease 7 plus Ks plus Machado 1 plus TB. For a high variance parlay, Padres minus 1.5 plus Machado hour plus Cease 8 plus Ks rewards optimal correlation. Game flow. Cease opens with heavy fastballs, mows down the top of the Rockies' order, Gordon scrambles through 2 before leaving after the 4th. Padres tack on runs via Machado and Arraez gap explosions. Colorado fights small ball but the Rockies' pen finally caves under altitude pressure. This is a Padres lean script until Coors produces its inevitable surprise. Size your stakes with that volatility in mind. The dynamic Los Angeles Angels take on the Oakland Athletics, a matchup that pits emerging stars, bullpen leverage, and high-octane prop possibilities in a clash that could redefine late-season betting advantage. On the mound for LA is Patrick Sandoval, 9-6, 3.92 era, 127K, a lefty who relies on finesse and a whippy slider that locks hitters in. His success hinges on strike zone precision, and against Oakland's high K, high-variance lineup, Sandoval can either dominate or get chewed up. The A's counter with Paul Blackburn, 7-7, 4.12 era, 1.22 whip, a sinker-slider guy who generates grounders and lives by pitch efficiency, but his fly ball mishaps at altitude make him vulnerable to Angels' offense. When the bullpen enters the conversation, LA holds the edge. They've tightened late innings via solid late-game arms like Iglesias or Bedrosian, while Oakland's relievers remain inconsistent, making them a shaky bridge in high-pressure frames. That's a live edge in tight games or spread scenarios. The Angels have offensive firepower and depth. Mike Trout .300, .410, .560, 31 HR, 92 RBI, Anthony Rendon for clutch production, and Jared Walsh providing thump. The A's counter with Matt Olson 25-hour, and Starling Mart's speed, decent but nowhere near the lineup depth of their opponent. Key prop plays. Sandoval over 5.5 kiloseconds holds value if Oakland chases fastballs. On the flip side, Blackburn under 5.5 kiloseconds is plausible if LA sinks into counts. For hitters, Trout over 1.5 total bases and Olson anytime HR or sharp angles. Market totals hover near 9 runs, giving life to both over and team total plays, especially early angle hedges on either side. Betting combos. Lean. Angels ML plus Trout TB over. Balanced. Under 9 plus Sandoval over Ks plus Olson hour. High reward SGP. Angels minus 1.5 plus Trout 2 plus TB plus total over 9. Imagery. First inning, Sandoval throws 15 pitches, records 2 Ks, and gets Trout churning count. Olson responds with a swipe to right. Mid-game, Angels string 2 runs via Rendon RBI and Trout double. Blackburn limps at 80 pitches. Late innings, Iglesias shuts the door while Oakland's sparse offense sputters. Cover city for Angels, with props and totals lighting up the clutches. Zach Gallen toes the slab for Arizona. The ace stuff is real. Mid-rotation heat, elite spin and AK profile that crushes lineups when his command clicks. He's been holding opponents to low averages and pounding the zone, versus a Red Sox lineup that chases the long ball. Gallen's ability to induce weak contact and miss bats is the central thesis. Boston counters with Michael Wacha, a veteran who lives on movement and sequencing rather than blow-away velo. Wacha eats innings when his changeup and sinker are working, but he can be punished by sustained patient attacks that force him to nibble. This is a classic control versus swing and miss duel. Arizona's bullpen has been a mixed bag, some high-leverage arms who can lock a lead, but depth is thin if Gallen exits early. Boston's late relief core offers veteran heat and matchup options. When they're available, this tilts the late innings in the Sox favor. Watch usage from the prior night. If Boston saved their best arms, the late frame advantage grows. Offensively, the Diamondbacks lean on gap power and speed, Christian Walker and Corbin Carroll style, while the Red Sox counter with heavy hitters, Devers-type power and a table setter who creates pressure. Home runs are the natural prop play here. Gallen will yield one if he misses up. Wacha will live or die by his command. Key props and angles. Gallen over 6.5 kiloseconds if you believe in his swing and miss ceiling. Wacha over 5.5 kiloseconds has upside when he's working ahead. Devers anytime HR and Christian Walker 1 plus TB are tight value plays. Team totals. Boston TT over 4.5 if you expect sustained contact and power. Arizona TT over 3.5 if Gallen is lifted early. Best bets. Lean Gallen to K heavy outing plus under 9 total if you trust the pitchers. Contrarian. Small stake on Red Sox ML if you value Boston's bullpen and lineup depth. Parlay SGP ideas. Conservative SGP. Gallen 7 plus Ks plus Walker 1 plus TB plus under 9. Aggressive parlay. Red Sox ML plus Devers hour plus Wacha 6 plus Ks. If you're ready to go deeper than the highlights and cash in on the sharpest insights, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown. Let's dive into today's action and go beyond the box score together.